What's up everyone? I'm back again today, and I think today is gonna be like my best video yet because we're gonna do a versus. Okay, so I really wanted to do like a easy chocolate chip cookie recipe that's vegan versus something that I consider to be like a very complex vegan recipe. So the two people whose recipes I'm going to be comparing is there's a channel with two people, and it's called Make It Dairy Free, and they have a simple vegan chocolate chip cookie recipe. And then for the complex recipe, I'm going to be doing the recipe from All Things Adrienne's channel, Adrienne. Her and her husband have a vegan chocolate chip cookie recipe, and I would consider that one to be like very complex. It's like you have to get these very specific ingredients. It's like the type of vegan recipe that I hate because I had to spend a lot of money to get these specific things. But really what I want to be testing out is, do you really need to be using coconut flour and coconut sugar, or can you use like normal all-purpose flour and like cane sugar and have like just as good of a cookie? And I think you probably can, so I'm a little biased, but I'm gonna test it out, and I'm gonna blind taste test them at the end to like see which one I think is truly better. So let's get started. Actually, before we get started, let's head over and look at the cost differences. On the left we have the Make It Dairy Free channel, which all these ingredients totaled at $5.49, and for Adrienne's video everything totaled up to $6.84, and I did exclude baking soda and salt just because it was so negligible. But yeah, is this crazy to you guys? Let me know in the comments, because I expected this to be like a little more drastic than what it actually was. Okay, so in this first recipe I have half a cup of vegan cane sugar and a fourth a cup of light brown sugar tightly packed, and I'm gonna add to it 8 tablespoons of softened not melted vegan butter. I may have melted it accidentally and then had to put it in the freezer to let it get back to like its normal state, but it's fine, I think. But I did notice, like with the vegan butter, when it melts, like something that's in it separates, like, and it doesn't fully come back together. So like once you melt it, so really just try to keep your eye on it and don't let it melt, because I don't want it to like affect how the cookies come out. And he says to just cream it together, the butter and the sugar, for like 2 to 3 minutes until it becomes a light pale color. Okay, so I let that beat for like 2.5 minutes, and once you see it starting to change color, you can go and add in a teaspoon of vanilla extract and 1/4 cup of unsweetened applesauce. If you don't have unsweetened, I would just like remove a little bit of the sugar, the white sugar and the light brown sugar, just a little bit, just so that it's not too sweet. So okay, 1 teaspoon. Am I the only person who feels like 1 teaspoon is not enough? And then the applesauce. And in the video, Andrew says that you only have to mix this for like 20 seconds. Mine looks kind of weird right now. I think once I add the flour and everything, it'll come together. And the other difference between this recipe and the other one, this one only uses 1 bowl, so we're going to just put the rest of the ingredients right into here, the flour, baking soda. Okay, so I have all my dry here, and I'm just going to put it all in all at once. You don't have to do it like in parts or anything. And so he says dough should fall apart into crumbles during the mixing process. So let's see if that happens for me. Usually what's supposed to happen doesn't. Alright, so we're about to be done. I was like a little worried about how the dough was looking, but I think it's good. So I'm going to add in, 3/4 cup of chocolate. If you really like chocolate, you can obviously just like add more. Yeah. Alright, now I'm just going to scoop them into balls and put them on my sheet. I'm going to bake only 6, but it can make up to 12. And I'm going to just freeze the rest, like since I'm making a whole nother batch of cookies, I don't want to have 24. And I don't have an ice cream scoop, so I think I'm gonna just be extra and weigh. Yeah, I'm gonna just weigh each one. And I put these in the oven at 350 degrees for 10 to 12 minutes. Okay, time to move on to the second recipe. So I'm gonna just be combining all the wet ingredients into this bowl. So it's gonna be half a cup of vegan butter, half a cup of coconut sugar, 3 tablespoons of oat milk. I have the extra creamy one. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 1/4 cup of white cane sugar. So while I'm doing that though, I thought it would be like interesting to read just some vegan facts, just because some of these like really were like shocking to me. So the first thing is that livestock and their byproducts are accountable for 51% of all greenhouse gas emissions worldwide. 2,500 gallons of water are needed to produce 1 pound of beef. That is like, I don't understand. Animal agriculture is responsible for up to 91% of the Amazon rainforest destruction. Yeah, you know, like obviously I'm not vegan or anything, but I feel like I just want to like decrease the amount of meat and dairy that I eat in general. So I feel like it'll be cool to just do some vegan recipes on this channel, because I would like to incorporate more of them into my diet anyway. And I'll put the link down below of where I got these facts from, and let me know in the comments if any of you are like interested in reducing the amount of meat and dairy that you consume, why, or like why not, or like if you've tried it in the past and you've stopped, because I know there are a lot of people who like have been vegan or vegetarian and then they decide to like go back to eating meat. So whatever your story is, I'd love to hear it. Right now I'm very liberally putting 1/2 cup in here, like as you can see. I feel like I'm like the most least professional baker that exists. Okay, so now I'm gonna just put this onto my stand mixer and combine it, and I will show you like what it looks like right before I start going on to the dry ingredients. And isn't this so interesting? Like my wet ingredients combined look like frosting or something. So alright, so all my wet ingredients are mixed together, and now I'm gonna move on to the dry ingredients in a separate bowl. I have 1 cup of all-purpose flour. In Adrienne's video, she uses gluten-free flour, but I don't have a gluten sensitivity, and if you don't, not eating gluten isn't really like gonna benefit you in any way, so I'm just gonna stick with this and use like all-purpose flour. And then I'm gonna add 1/2 cup of this coconut flour, and I'm expecting something like incredible from this freaking coconut flour, because like I said, I just don't understand like why you need to use this over all-purpose, but that's what we're gonna test out. I'm gonna try not to be biased. And I also wanted to mention that one of the wet ingredients that was supposed to go in was pure cane syrup. And I looked everywhere for this syrup. It wasn't on Amazon, Amazon Fresh. I was on Instacart looking at like 4 different supermarkets, and I couldn't find it anywhere. So I'm assuming if it's that hard for me to find, it's probably going to be difficult for you guys to find too. So I think that I'm just going to omit it, because nobody has time to be driving around looking for cane syrup. Like who? Yeah. There's gonna be a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda going in here. A 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. So I'm just gonna eyeball it. And I actually bought sea salt, y'all. I was like really going all out. Okay, so now I'm going to add these dry ingredients into the wet and just let it combine. Then once it's combined, I'm going to use my spatula to incorporate all of the chocolate, and then we'll be like pretty much done. Also, I'm noticing in every single video I doubt myself, and I like look at it and I'm like, oh, this doesn't look like the video or whatever. But I swear to God, this doesn't look like how it's supposed to look. It's very soft. It's not like you can probably shape this into a ball. This is how my batter looked once it was done. So I put it in the oven at 350 for about 10 minutes or so. These are the cookies when they're complete. We have Andrew's cookie on the left and Adrienne's cookie on the right. So now it's time for the taste test. Alright, I'm here with a special guest. This is my mom.
Hi.
And she's gonna be taste testing these because I thought I could do a blind test, but I know which one is which, and I'm already biased. So try whichever one you want first.
Okay, so I'm gonna try the lighter one first.
I haven't tried them either.
It's very light.
Very light.
Not too sweet. Has almost like a cakey kind of consistency.
Yeah.
Texture in the middle.
Yeah, these are cakey.
So let's taste the next one. Okay, so now this one is definitely heavier. This one's a little crispier. Definitely a little crispier. It's not a cakey consistency, but more of like a creamy consistency. Something that I would compare to what you would expect, like maybe like a chewy cookie. So what did I pick?
Okay, this is the easy recipe, the simple one. This is the complex one. This is the one that has like coconut sugar and coconut flour. This is just all-purpose flour. They both have vegan butter.
Okay.
And yeah, but I like this one more. I don't like this one because it's cakey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if I had to say overall, they're both really good. But the other thing that you have to consider is your palate.
I think that, so going into it, I was saying that these ingredients are like unnecessary. Like I was thinking you don't need to get coconut sugar and coconut flour just to make a vegan cookie. You can make it with the regular all-purpose flour and it'll be good.
So,
yeah. All right.
Well, I'm not done.
No, I just like...
If you are a person who's more into the healthier options and you're accustomed to spending a little bit more on the ingredients, this is fine. But if budget wise it becomes very expensive to treat yourself to a cookie, then I believe the easier version of the recipe is just fine, and they taste good, and actually they were my favorite. Okay,
thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.